Canada's largest water infrastructure projects. The water sector continues to have a strong presence on the list, with 9 of Canada's top 100 projects coming specifically from the water sector, including wastewater treatment plants, reservoirs, and flood mitigation assets in 4 Canadian provinces: BC, Alberta, Manitoba, and Ontario. Iona Island Wastewater Treatment Plant. Cost, $10 billion. Location, Richmond, BC. Engineer, AECOM, Jacobs. Funding, public. The existing Iona Island Wastewater Treatment Plant provides primary treatment for communities in Vancouver, the UBC endowment lands, and parts of Burnaby and Richmond. As the facility reaches the end of its service life, Metro Vancouver has a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to positively contribute to the health and well-being of its community, as well as the ecological health and biodiversity of the Fraser River estuary and the Salish Sea. The new plant will provide tertiary-level treatment, meet the latest seismic standards, account for future sea level rise, and incorporate cutting-edge technologies for resource and energy recovery, greenhouse gas reductions, odor reduction, and energy efficiency. Metro Vancouver is working to ensure that the new facility contributes positively to the community and is working closely with stakeholders and 14 local First Nations, particularly the Musqueam Indian Band. The project also includes a suite of 20 ecological projects to enhance freshwater wetland habitat for birds and wildlife. Image, conceptual rendering, 2021, is subject to refinement. Don River and Central Waterfront wet weather flow system and connected projects. Cost, $3 billion. Location, Toronto, Ontario. Owner, City of Toronto. P3 team members/project team. Don River and Central Waterfront wet weather flow system, DRNCWWF system. Coxwell Bypass, Stage 1 Black & Veatch Canada, Consultants, North Tunnel Constructors, Contractor. Inner Harbour West Tunnel, H/AECOM, Consultant. Integrated Pumping Station, IPS Black & Veatch Canada, Consultants, Strabag Canada, Contractor Contract 2. Ashbridges Bay Landform Project, TRCA, Toronto and Region Conservation Authority, Designer with Shoreplan Engineering, TRCA, Constructor of Landform. UV, Ultraviolet, Disinfection Facility, AECOM, Consultants, Graham, Contractor. Outfall, H/Jacobs and Baird, Consultants, SAJV, Southland Astaldi Joint Venture, Contractor. Funding, public. The Don River and Central Waterfront wet weather flow system and connected projects is a 25-year program aimed at improving water quality in Toronto's lower Don River, Taylor-Massey Creek, and Inner Harbour. Toronto is embarking on the largest and most significant stormwater management program in the city's history, and with an overall budget of more than $3 billion, this 25-year program will greatly improve the water quality in these areas by keeping combined sewer overflows out of the waterways through the upgrading of technology and capacity to capture, transport, and treat it. The project is comprised of an integrated system of tunnels, storage shafts, a high-rate treatment facility, and wastewater treatment plant upgrades. The program is made up of several individual projects that will work together, including the Don River and Central Waterfront wet weather flow system, the Ashbridges Bay Treatment Plant, ABTP, Integrated Pumping Station, ABTP UV Disinfection Facility, ABTP Landform and High-Rate Treatment Facility, and ABTP Outfall. Construction of the Coxwell Bypass Tunnel is scheduled for completion in 2023. The Ashbridges Bay Landform Project, a joint initiative between the city and the Toronto Region Conservation Authority, TRCA, as well as projects at the ABTP are all well underway. These include the Integrated Pumping Station, the Landform Project, the ABTP UV Disinfection Facility, and the ABTP Outfall. Repeats. North End Sewage Treatment Upgrades. Cost, $1.854 billion. Location, Winnipeg, Manitoba. Owner, City of Winnipeg. Engineer, KGS Group, Owner's Advocate/Consultant, Nook Power Supply Upgrade, AECOM, Owner's Advocate/Consultant, Nook Upgrade, Headworks, Biosolids and Nutrient Removal Facilities, Wood, Design. Legal, Blake, Castles and Graydon. Other key players, Hanscom, Independent/Engineers Design Stage Cost Consultant, Veolia, Professional Services, P1 Consulting Ltd. Funding, public. Federal, $116.111 million. Provincial, $96.75 million. Municipal, $1.641 billion. In February 2019, Winnipeg City Council approved a request to break the overall project into 3 separate capital projects: North End Sewage Treatment Plant upgrades, Power Supply and Headworks Facilities, $408 million, North End Sewage Treatment Plant upgrades, Biosolids Facilities, $553 million, and North End Sewage Treatment Plant upgrades, Nutrient Removal Facilities, $828 million. In May 2021, they approved a budget amendment increase of $65 million for the North End Sewage Treatment Plant upgrade, Power Supply and Headworks Facilities, for a revised project budget of $473 million. In July 2021, the City of Winnipeg awarded Red River Solutions a bid to conduct the Headworks Facilities project at the North End Sewage Treatment Plant. The scope of work includes the design and construction of a new headworks facility that will include a raw sewage pump station, a microtunnel extension of existing interceptor sewers, a grit removal system, a main control room, fine screens and compactors, and a plant emergency generator facility. The project is the first of 3 projects for upgrading the NUPC. Construction is expected to commence in the third quarter of 2021, with expected completion in the second quarter of 2025. Onassis Island Wastewater Treatment Plant Expansion. Cost, $1.27 billion. Location, Delta, British Columbia. Owner, Metro Vancouver. Engineer, Brown and Caldwell, Stantec, EIC Solutions, Clone Krippenberger, Stage 5 Expansion, CDM Smith, Golder, a member of WSP, McMillan Jacobs, Outfall, Wood/Black & Veatch, Cogeneration Backup Power, EXP, Geotechnical Engineering and Monitoring/Instrumentation. Project/Construction Manager, Hatch, Outfall Project, CDM Smith, Overall Construction Coordination. P3 Team Member/Project Team, JJM Construction and Geopack Incorporated, Phase 1 Ground Improvement and 12.5 kV Power Feed Relocation, Graham/Econ Joint Venture, Phase 1 Treatment Plant Process Structures and Equipment, North American Construction, Blowers Contract, Kinadon Contracting, Computer Control System and Laboratory Building, Cogeneration, and Backup Power, Maple Grinders Incorporated, Phase 2 Gravity Thickeners and Aeration Tanks Retrofit, Bennett Mechanical Installations, Phase 2 Digester Heat Exchangers Upgrade, Pomerleau-Vesak General Partnership, Outfall Pipeline. Other key players, AECOM, Stage 5 Phase 1 Design Review, WSP, Third-Party Materials Engineering and Testing, Hatch, Tunnel Design Review and Outfall Construction Management, HKA, Claims Support, Colliers Project Leaders, Jacobs, CDM Smith, Associated Engineering, Project Management and Construction MG Staff Augmentation, Enviro.est, Environmental. Legal, Norton Rose Fulbright, for Metro Vancouver. Funding, Public. When this Stage 5 project by Metro Vancouver is complete, the Onassis Island facility will have increased its capacity to serve 1.5 million people in 14 Metro Vancouver municipalities, from its current ability to serve 1.25 million people. The previous expansion was done in the late 1990s. The plant serves much of the Tri-Cities, Burnaby, Maple Ridge, Delta, Surrey, Pitt Meadows, Langley, and White Rock. 4 proponents have been shortlisted for the Outfall project, the next phase of the Onassis expansion. The Onassis Wastewater Treatment Plant is one of the region's largest wastewater treatment facilities, serving 14 Metro Vancouver municipalities. Over the next several years, the plant will receive major upgrades in order to meet the needs of our region's growing population. These upgrades will significantly increase the volume of wastewater the plant can treat and will enhance the facility's resilience to both earthquakes and the impacts of climate change. Director Richard Stewart, Chair, Metro Vancouver's Liquid Waste Committee. Portland's Flood Protection and Enabling Infrastructure. Cost, $1.25 billion. Location, Toronto, Ontario. Owner, City of Toronto. Engineer, Wood, Consulting, WSP, Cherubini Metal Works Limited, DTAH, Planmac, Jacobs. Project/Construction Manager, Waterfront Toronto and the City of Toronto, Project Manager, Ellisdon, Construction Manager. Environmental Services, Arcadis Canada, Interflow, GHD, GFL, InGlobe, Geosolutions. Financing detail, the federal, provincial, and municipal governments are each contributing an equal share of $416.6 million to this project. The Portland's Flood Protection and Enabling Infrastructure project is the redevelopment of one of the largest portions of underdeveloped land in a major urban core in North America. Located along the shore of Lake Ontario, southeast of Toronto's downtown core, The project will include substantial soil remediation, a new mouth for the Don River, and critical infrastructure for flood resilience to unlock the 325-hectare site for residential and commercial development. In winter 2021, the third of 4 bridges arrived in Toronto from Halifax. These bridges will connect Toronto to Villiers Island once flood protection is complete. This year, planting is starting in the New River Valley. For detailed updates, follow @The Rock Ripper on Twitter. Bonnybrook Wastewater Treatment Plant expansion. Cost, $630 million. Location, Calgary, Alberta. Owner, City of Calgary. Engineer, Stantec, Jacobs, AECOM, SNC Lavalin, Consulting, Wood. P3 Team Members / Project Team, Balzers Canada Incorporated, Mechanical Contractor, The Vector Group, Electrical Contractor, Income Electric Corp., Electrical Contractor, Standard General Incorporated, Underground, Whistle Contracting Limited, Underground, KLS Earthworks and Environmental. Funding, Public. Bonnybrook Wastewater Treatment Plant is the largest of 3 wastewater treatment plants serving Calgary and the surrounding area. Originally built in the 1930s, Bonnybrook is undergoing its most substantial upgrade to date. With an investment of more than $1 billion over the span of 10 years, it is expected that Bonnybrook will see its total treatment capacity increase to nearly 1.4 million citizens when completed in 2026. In 2021, the project made significant progress, and the greatest number of projects were completed and commissioned, including the installation of 2 new primary clarifiers and 6 additional secondary clarifiers. The project also entailed the construction of 3 secondary treatment bioreactors and retrofits, and upgrades to existing solids handling digesters and the UV disinfection facility. Lastly, as part of this Plant D upgrade, a new biogas handling storage facility was completed and commissioned. In spring of 2021, a new outfall was commissioned and put into service. This new larger outfall was built 900 m further downstream to provide additional flood resiliency and an improved diffusion system to enhance environmental performance. Lake St. Martin and Lake Winnipeg Outlet Channel Project. Cost, $540 million. Location, Interlake, Manitoba. Owner, Government of Manitoba. Engineer, Hatch, KGS Group, Tetra Tech. Environmental Services, Stantec, North/South Consultants Incorporated, WSP Global Incorporated, Magellanicum Ecological Services. Funding, Public. Federal, $247.5 million. Provincial, $292.5 million. The $540 million flood protection project consists of a 24.1 kilometers long channel from Lake Manitoba and a 23.8 kilometers long channel from Lake St. Martin. The Lake Manitoba Outlet Channel includes an inlet at Lake Manitoba and outlet at Lake St. Martin, a new water control structure with a bridge and 3 new bridge crossings over the outlet channel. The Lake St. Martin Outlet Channel includes an inlet at Lake St. Martin and outlet at Lake Winnipeg, a new water control structure with a bridge, as well as the necessary Manitoba hydro infrastructure to power the control structure. Construction is expected to commence in early 2022. In 2021, Manitoba Infrastructure continued to advance the Outlet Channels project through the provincial and federal environmental assessment processes. Meetings are ongoing with federal regulatory agencies, Indigenous groups, and stakeholders, such as the rural municipality of Grandale. As the Outlet Channels project continues to move through the environmental and consultation processes, engineering design work is happening concurrently. Preliminary engineering design is complete for all channel components and detailed design work is well underway. Construction tender packages are under development but cannot be released until a provincial license and federal environmental approvals are received. Springbank Off-Stream Reservoir. Cost, $432 million. Location, Calgary, Alberta. Owner, Government of Alberta. Engineer, Stantec, Golder, a member of WSP, Environmental, Wood, Consulting. Environmental Services, Stantec. Legal, McLennan Ross, Counsel for the Government of Alberta, Osler, Advisor to the Government of Alberta. Funding, Public. Federal funding, Disaster Adaptation and Mitigation Fund $168.5 million. Provincial funding, $263.5 million. The Springbank Off-Stream Reservoir represents the Government of Alberta's solution to mitigate severe flooding along the Elbow River, similar to what took place in June of 2013. Current plans call for a dry reservoir with a capacity of 70.2 million cubic meters and an outlet structure to safely release the water back to the river. The reservoir will be located approximately 15 kilometers west of the city of Calgary. In October 2021, voluntary agreements were reached with landowners to secure the 3,700 acres of land needed for the project. The tendering process for construction has begun, with tenders sent to pre-qualified bidders. Construction is slated to begin in early 2022. Alberta Environment and Parks will be responsible for the operation of the project once construction is complete.